Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started.
Have you ever wondered what is the difference between someone who earns a lot of money and someone who continues to not make a lot of money but keeps trying? Have you ever wondered what the difference is between those two people? I'm going to talk about that on the show today. First, let me give you a quick update of what's been going on in my world. I am just returning from 4 weeks of travel. I have been completely understanding money and wealth, finances, retirement. I have spent 16 or 17 days already this year just better understanding and taking responsibility for finances in a way that I have never done before. So that has brought me back to wanting to do another Belief Bootcamp. So I've done Belief Bootcamps over the last few years. We've done them in person, 2 days, 3 days. We've done them live, online, and tried a bunch of things. And this time I am focusing on money beliefs primarily. So in the past, I've done really understanding your beliefs around everything, what's created in your life, in your relationships, in your body. And I've been seeing this theme with new coaches and business owners and entrepreneurs where they continue to get stuck in the money cycle. And the common theme is they don't want to talk about money. So what I hear is it's not about the money. Like, Kim, it's not about the money, but it is about the money because you really can't create impact unless you have the money. We live on planet Earth, which is run by money. So I'm going to dive into money beliefs today. I want you to get a paper and pen if you can, or come back and listen to this one twice. I'm going to go through 4 different, we'll call them buckets, that determines your beliefs around money. Therefore, the results that you have in your bank account, in your savings account, the amount of money that you have the ability to earn depends on these 4 things. So buckle up. I'm going to dive in. So if you want to know more about this, make sure you register for Belief Bootcamp or send an email saying, hey, I missed it. When is the next one? So that we can make sure that you get in. Today, I'm just going to kind of skim the surface about these 4 buckets, what you need to look for to recognize in your thoughts, your beliefs, things that have been kind of running the theme of your understanding around money. So the very first one is your upbringing. So it is generational. So think back to when you were growing up and what your parents and grandparents said about money. What was their experience around money? Were they living in abundance, or did they teach you that money was limited or it was only for some people? Think back to the dinner table. What were the beliefs around food, an abundance of food? Or did we not need to not waste? Did we need to be careful, thankful that you have more than someone else? Like, what were the beliefs around money that came from your family, from generations, from your upbringing, from your personal experience? That's the first bucket we're going to look at, is what are your generational beliefs around money that impacted you in your upbringing and your beliefs around money. The second one that I'm going to go through is environmental. And that is the environment, the neighborhood, the school, the community store where you shopped at, where you hung around, maybe If you're my age, you went to the pool hall, or when you like your environment is like your surroundings. And so you would have recognized this when you went to the library, when you went to the grocery store, when you went to the restaurants, when you ordered food. Like, what was the environment's beliefs around money? The environment that you grew up in. And maybe if you moved or if you married and moved somewhere else, just take note from childhood all the way to now. What was the environment's belief around money? The third bucket or category, whatever you want to call them, I'm putting them in buckets because it makes sense to me, is religious. What did you hear about money when you were at church, when the family was talking about spirituality and religion? And what was the belief around money? Whatever your spiritual upbringing was, what was the message, whether it was Christian or not, what was the message around money? It could be around tithing and giving back. And maybe it's some beliefs around money. I've heard, people say it's like money is evil or the love of money is evil and things like that. Like, Jesus said things around about money or around money. So think back from when you were a child all the way up until now. What is your understanding, your perception? And careful not to try to undo it, like, and say, yeah, well, I know better now. That's not what I'm talking about. What are the beliefs and the perceptions around money when it comes to God or spirituality or religion or tithing? What have you been told? What did you see? What is your understanding around giving back? Around what are you supposed to do with money? When it comes to spirituality, when it comes to your relationship with God, or this really, it doesn't matter what your religious upbringing is. It just matters what did you perceive around the teachings and the trainings around money. And the fourth one is social. So social would be like what you're seeing on social media, what you're seeing on the news, in magazines. Like when you look at an influential person or a magazine or their representation on TV or social media, what is the perception around money that you picked up from childhood all the way to now? What are the money beliefs about people of influence in the social world? Like, think about how they spend money, how they dress, what they drive. So these are the four buckets that I'm going to be talking about at Belief Bootcamp. We're going to break them down. We're going to dive in. We've got a workbook and some questionnaires, and I'm going to be taking questions from the audience. We're going to really dive into the beliefs. Listen, this is determining your relationship and your results of how much money you have, you can earn, and you can keep, and even multiply. This is so important to recognize and understand, and then decide, once you've determined what they are, decide if you want to keep those beliefs or not. Are they serving you? Are they helpful? Are they helping you get to the result that you want? So my focus for the last couple of years is helping coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs create more impact through their work, their contribution, their service to the world. Like, that's like purpose and passion and fulfillment and satisfaction. Giving back to society, to the world in a way that aligns with your purpose and your vision for what is possible. And it helps you meet your potential. And the number one thing I have seen that is preventing people from their potential from creating the impact that they want to create is around money. And this is determined by your beliefs around money. It is determined, listen very clearly. It is determined by your perception. It's the way that you see, the lens that you see money through. It is your understanding from the information and the data that you received, and most likely from very early on. So I have been working with clients around healing financial trauma. Now, listen, I'm not talking bankruptcy or someone stole your money or not even talking about big T. Trauma is the perception or the separation, the understanding of safety. So if you have a misunderstanding or incorrect data around money that has to do with your perception of being safe, of having enough, then you have trauma. We all do, even the wealthy, even the wealthy. So this episode is really about understanding that it's coming from 4 different buckets. And this stuff is not easy to break down on your own. So it's really beneficial. For me personally, it's about coaching because when someone has the ability to hold the space in safety so that you can mentally unwind and unpack some of these misunderstandings, this information that has been dictating your results. It's so important to understand that this is just perception. And when you try to excuse it or explain it or justify, rationalize it, then you don't get the breakthrough. You don't get the change that you want. So I want to invite you to come to Belief Bootcamp. It is happening. I will do it again. I will be coming to maybe a city near you that's going to be in person. I've done this a couple of times in Austin and New Orleans last year. We're looking at Chicago and Colorado and Dallas this year. So if you're interested in coming to any of those in person, just send me an email. I'll let you know the dates that we're looking at. We're not publishing it yet, but here's what I want to tell you. Come to the virtual, and then you won't have to wait on a particular time or date or place. Just come to the virtual. And you could do the VIP, and that way you get the replay and you get the workbook, and you also get a month. You get 4 calls where we can start unpacking, unraveling this stuff so that you can create the impact that you want to create. But first, you have to understand what's holding you back from it. And that is what we're going to do by understanding our beliefs around money, around financial trauma, perception of money from generations, things that have been passed down through your family, through your environment, your workplace, your party place, where you hang out with other people, through social avenues, what you're seeing online with the influencers, what you're seeing in magazines and TV, as well as your religious. What is your religious upbringing around money? What is your understanding around money? So those are the 4. You want to write those down. Your upbringing or generational, environmental or surroundings, religious, your interpretation of religious spirituality. What's that perception around money? And social influence. What is around you? What are you seeing on the media channels? Oh my gosh, this is so deep. I believe I need to do a series on it and I need to stay with it for a few weeks. I want to offer you the opportunity to come and work with me, whether it's in a group or one-on-one, or you want to do it in person, you want to do it online, whatever avenue best suits you. That is the one that I would choose. They're all available. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I've been trying to bring this whole money piece in for a few years. I get a lot of pushback on it, which is what I'm going to be teaching about in the boot camp. Why do I get so much pushback on it? Why is there so much resistance around it? it's coming from one of these 4 buckets, coming from your experience. But first, you have to ask the question, why is money available to others? If it's available to others, why isn't it available to me? Or why is it available to me and I don't have it? These are the questions you have to ask because the resources are available to all of us. We are healthy. We are well. We are wealthy. We are joyful. We are happy. But there is something that we are doing that's getting in the way of that. We are naturally healthy and wealthy and qualified and worthy. We are. That is a big T. That is a truth. That is the way that it is. But there is an untruth that is keeping you from it. And that is what we want to unravel and understand and unpack. And we want to reframe it, rewrite it so that you're in the position to have the money that you need in order to live the life that you want, create the influence and impact that you have the desire to do. And it's going to come through this work. So if you're in business, if you are a coach, a wellness practitioner, a healing focused entrepreneur, you're helping other people. Guys, you're going to come across this. If you're helping anyone improve their life, you're going to have to confront money. Lack of, inability to receive, inability to hold on to it. Why do we not even want to talk about it? Why do we make it bad? Like we have to question these things and open up the opportunity and the channels to be able to flow in currency. Currency, think about it, money, currency, the movement of money. You're naturally in the movement of money until one of these beliefs comes in between you and receiving it. All right. I hope to see you at Belief Bootcamp. If not, maybe at one of the live events. Send me an email, kim@kimgilry.com. Share this with family and friends, anyone that you know is struggling with money. I believe we are on the verge of big, big financial change. And it's more important than ever that you take personal responsibility for financial literacy, really understanding finances, wealth, receiving abundance, all of these things. Like, it's really tricky because it's so uncomfortable to talk about, and that prevents you from understanding it. And when you don't understand it, you can't have it, keep it, multiply it. All right, you have an amazing week.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.